Hello my friends, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing some work on komorebi, the tiling window manager for Windows, which is written in the Rust programming language. Today's video will be a continuation of our ongoing komorebi status bar mini-series. This is the status bar up at the top. It is looking pretty good. Today's installment will be all about how to load custom fonts. We are building this with the egui eFrame framework, and I've seen quite a lot of people wondering how exactly do you load custom fonts dynamically. So we're going to take a look at the custom font example that is available on the egui repo, and we're going to tweak it a little bit so that we don't have to compile our application with the fonts compiled as part of, the bundle. We want to be able to load fonts at runtime depending on what fonts the user has installed on their system. So, without further ado, let's do some coffee pasta. Well, let's get bacon running, and then let's do some coffee pasta. So, I'm gonna bring this over, and we have, what do we have? So in my app new, we call setup custom fonts, and setup custom fonts is this function. So I'm just gonna pull this out, and we can just put this maybe above here. Actually, no, we can put it here because we're going to call it in new. All right, so let's see. Setup custom fonts. So I'm going to change this here to add custom font, and we're going to want to be able to give a name of the font family. So I'm just thinking back from how I want this to be called. I do not have this font in my system, right? So this is doing include bytes. So it's going to include the bytes from this TTF file if it exists. It does not exist. So I've looked up in the crates ecosystem. There is this crate called font loader. So I'm going to add this font loader, and there are a couple of functions exposed from here. So you go into system fonts. You can query all of the fonts available, but what we're going to want to do is get a font property, and that is going to return the bytes for us. So the bytes that would go here for font data, we'll be getting them at runtime. So let's see how this goes. So I think we want something like this. Let's see. So system, use fonts, system fonts. Font loaders, fonts. So I think we just do font loader. Okay, so can I import this? Yes, I can. We're gonna want the font family from the name that we pass in, and system fonts get property unwrap. Cool. I think we can do that. Or actually, you know what? Let's be a little smarter about this. We'll do if let sum font something equals system fonts get property. Is that right? Don't think that's right. I think we need to probably comment all of this for now. There we go. Okay, so this is probably a result, is it? No, it is an option. Okay, so this here, even though it's not showing up, okay, now it is. That is our raw bytes. So, I mean, I guess we should probably do this as well, just to get an idea of how things are gonna look. So that'll show all of like my sys fonts that I have running. But okay, so if we have a font, then oof. Okay, so we've done that. Put my font first. Fonts. We don't have fonts anymore. Did I get rid of that? This. Let moot fonts. This is the bit we need. Put that back at the top. Font families. I need to give it a name. I'll give it custom user font for now, I guess. And then put my font as a last fallback for monospace. Or actually here, we can just, we can use the name that we're passing through, right? Because that, if it is a valid name, it will return the font bytes. So we can use that name here as well. And then finally, oh, that's where it was. So silly. And then finally, we tell egui to use these fonts. But I have missed something. I didn't do this bit. So I can't do this from static. Let's go in and look at the source. So we have from static, we have from owned that takes a vec of u8, which is what we have here. So we'll change this to from owned. We'll get rid of this include bytes macro. And we'll put the fonts there. And that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool for us. Edit this text, no. I want to call setup or add custom font. I want to call that when I instantiate the app. So yeah, it says customize egui here with egui context, all that other stuff. So we'll do setup, not setup, add custom font, cc.egui context. Oh, this is ignored. We can unignore that. And I, as you may know if you've been following along on this channel, I am quite partial to JetBrains Mono. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful font. Alright, now is the moment of truth. I'm not gonna bother running it in release mode. Let's just get this up and running and then see how we go from there. So hopefully this is gonna let us have custom fonts. I know a lot of people don't like the default egui font. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty nice. But you know, if you have all of your fancy fonts set up, why not use them? Why not? So we should be able to see if we can get JetBrains Mono. I'm not actually sure. Are you supposed to give this the font family? Oh no, this isn't right. So I'm just gonna recompile that real quick. I did a little bit too much pasta with my copy. There should be name to owned in order to match these. We're getting there, we're getting there. What very nice way to spend Labor Day, writing some code. I'm actually really enjoying working on this project. Even though I don't get as much time because work is so busy and life is so busy, it's there's a lot of, I think, pressure associated with making changes to the komorebi code base, just because like there's a lot of behavior that is default but not necessarily strictly defined. So there are a lot of times where if you're not careful, you can introduce a change in behavior without necessarily realizing that you've done that because you don't use it in that way. But this is nice. This is very nice. I don't have to worry about that at all. So we have, very nice, we have our JetBrains mono font here, which matches our font here as well. So let's get rid of that stack. And here you can see we had a line of code, or a couple lines of code here, to print out all of the fonts. So this is going to print out just all of the fonts here. And I guess this is the font family. Yeah, this is the font family. So this is like in the configuration, this is what we'll be putting in. Might be worth exposing this, I know, through komorebi C, just to give you a list of the loadable fonts. Meh, we'll see. We don't need it for now, but what we do need is to expand our configuration. So we'll do font family. This will be a string, and we can set this here, font family, string from jet. No, this should be an option string. This should be an option string. So like for my use case now, I'm going to I guess we can't have copy anymore. We're gonna stick to clone. So we'll do some JetBrains. JetBrains mono. That doesn't look right. 267. So we're gonna clone this now, I guess. Expected. Oh my god. Alright, move occurs here because value has type config, which does not implement the copy trait. Okay, I guess. How do you, is there like a deref? Does that work? Yes, that works. Good enough for me. Value used after being moved. Well, I don't see anything in the errors. Okay, just needed a minute to catch up. And so now we will take this from config.fontFamily. Okay, so we can do if let some font family equals config.fontFamily, then we can follow this code path. Yay. So I think that was it. Let's rerun this real quick. We can run this one in release mode. Damn, that's a lot easier than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot harder. So I think the way, I mean, I need to put a bit more thought into configuration and hot loading. But the way it's set up now is like you'll still need to restart to do a full configuration change, I guess, because we're hard coding the configuration. Where is it? Here. But yeah, I've seen some people writing bars, and they have also the sockets approach, where you're just sending socket messages back and forth to update. different configuration options. So that's one thing, but we still need like a JSON or a YAML config that's a bit more declarative. I'm not sure. So I guess we'd have maybe like a listener in a separate thread. It's like we have this context repainter. I think we'd have another thread here, which it would listen to something, right? Or maybe, I don't know, it will need to be somewhere basically where it can listen and send messages, because like we're doing something like that here, right? So we have our komorebi thread where we have our listener listening and we receive messages and we do things, and when we receive a message, a notification, we send a notification on this channel, and every time we update, we call handle komorebi notification, and the state receiver, so the other side of that TX, this is the RX, will do try receive. Try receive is non-blocking, so like it will just error out empty if there is nothing to act on. But if the configuration changes, we'll have something similar to this, right? So we'll handle configuration change notification, and then we'll go through the state and update. But can I do see, that's a bit more tricky. So maybe we'd have to pass the context here, and we do something like ctx. Oh, we've got set fonts here as well, so we could call add custom font. So like if the notification contains like a font change message, we could do a match, get the name of the font family. If it exists, we can call add custom font. Otherwise, we can avoid that. So, you know, the configuration is a really big piece, honestly, that I'm still avoiding, but it is going to get there. What we're going to do in the next episode is finally make it possible to have all of these widgets in an arbitrary order. So right now the order is hard-coded, like you can see here: self-battery, self-time, self-date, all this stuff, right? I want it to be, at least for the right-hand side, maybe we'll focus on the right-hand side in the next video. We should be able to give an ordered list and have these widgets rendered according to that ordered list. Yeah, I think that sounds good. We're probably gonna have to play with boxes and traits, so yeah, if you have questions about how boxes and traits and vectors work together, or like if you've ever wanted to have like something like this, vec impl widget, like this doesn't compile, right? Impl bar widget, or it shouldn't compile. Yeah. Impl trait is only allowed in arguments and return types of functions and methods. So you can't declare a vec of something that implements a trait, but there is a way around this with boxes, and we'll get into that in the next episode. For now, I am going to wrap this on up, so join me as we say thank you to all of the lovely sponsors of this project, starting with David. Thank you so much. Thank you, Thomas, Chris, Timothy, private sponsor number 1, Azine, James, Pavel, Felipe, private sponsor number 2, Johan, Cody, Cody's also, I believe, making a bar. I just want to give that a shout because Cody is doing a very interesting alternate take on status bars, much like I am. Cody is using the Realm 4 GUI library, GTK4. And Cody's posting about this on the Discord. Come check it out. Cody has a thread on this. It looks really cool. I'm really excited to see more different approaches to status bars. It doesn't all just have to be like win forms or Tauri. It's an exciting time. So thank you anyway once again for your support, Cody. Thank you also Amr, Nir, Harold, Andy, PJHFGGIJ, Pyro, DM1681, Darian, Surefire, Solomon, private sponsor number 3, Kilroy, my boy, Evan, Quilt, Alex, and of course, number 1 OG fan, Hisayuki. If you too would like to become a sponsor, you can become a one-time sponsor, you can become a monthly sponsor. If you can, $5 a month is very much appreciated, but even if you can only become a sponsor for $1 a month, it makes a big difference. If, however, you are not in a position to sponsor, the very, very next best thing that you can do is just make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, where you're probably already watching this video, so just go ahead, click subscribe. We are monetized. We are getting very, very close to our first payout of $100 from ad revenue. So yeah, keep watching the videos, keep clicking like, keep leaving comments. I always love reading the comments. And yeah, just keep on keeping on. It helps out the project. It's a really simple, easy, passive way for you to financially contribute to the future of komorebi. Alrighty, my friends, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned, and I hope you'll come back for the next video. I hope that whatever you all do today, this Labor Day, you have a great day. Free Palestine, and I'll see you all back here next time.